So, a very good afternoon to all of you. Hope you are all fine at your places. Now, today we will start the third unit of your power station practice. Then the third unit is basically based upon power factor, and there are certain questions in that power factor. That is, what do you mean by power factor? Question number two, what causes low power factor? Question three, what should I or we improve my or our power factor? How do I correct or we correct our power factor? And question five, how long will it take our power factor correction to pay for ourselves? So the question is, this power factor is basically one of the most important thing that are frequently occur in case of an AC circuit. When I talk about AC supply, we all know at the beginning of third semester, when you enter your technical branch, electrical, you had read that there are two type of supplies, electrical supplies, rather we can say available. One is called as DC supply and another is called as AC supply. In case of a DC, you can say that there is no lead or no lag. But in case of an AC supply, there is lead or lag. So you can say that in case of an AC supply, depending upon the load, if you have a resistance, if you have a capacitance, or if you have inductance, your current and voltage are in out of phase or somehow are in phase. If I talk about resistor case, you read it out that in case of a resistor, both current and voltages are in same. That is, are in same phase. That means the phase angle, the angle between the voltage and the current is equal to zero. But if we talk about inductor or if we talk about capacitor, in both the inductor as well as capacitor, the voltage and current are out of phase. That means if you talk about inductor or a capacitor, the angle between voltage and current is equal to 90 degree. And in the same semester, it is also read it out that when you take the cosine of that angle, that is, when you take the cosine of angle between the voltage and the current, this is somehow is called as power factor. So if I quickly recap your previous semester, and in your third semester, you are discussed power factor as a three definitions. Number one definition of the power factor, that is the cosine of angle between the voltage and current, is known as power factor. Number two, the ratio of resistance offered by the body to the impedance offered by the body in case of an AC circuit is also known as power factor. And number three, in terms of power, that in case of a power, the active power to the reactive power, the ratio of active power to the reactive power is known as power factor. And we also discussed in that previous semester that power factor has a value ranging from 0 to 1, but it can neither be 0 nor be 1. The reason being, for 0 or for 1, we have a pure inductive circuit, pure capacitive circuit, and pure resistive circuit. But now we don't have a pure resistance, pure inductance, and pure capacitive circuit. So in that case, the power factor is neither equal to 0, neither equal to 1. Yeah, it's ranging from 0 to 1. So ideally, you can say that the power factor has a value range from 0.7 to 0.9. Now, in this chapter, we are discussing these main five questionnaires. That what do you mean by power factor? What are the causes of the low power factor? What will happen when the power factor has become low? And how you can improve the power factor? how you can correct the power factor, and how many, or you can get that how long will it take investment to make the power factor to a particular value, isn't it? So this is all about we have read in our power factor chapter. Now quickly we will start with the question number one, that is what do you mean by the power factor? And that power factor I had already explained to you, that power factor is basically three definitions. Number one, the cosine of angle between the voltage and current. Number two, a ratio of resistance offered by the body to the impedance offered by the body in case of an AC circuit. And number three, in terms of active power to the reactive power, the ratio of active power to the reactive power. Now, in order to understand the power factor in terms of this power, first of all, you have to be understand the basic definitions of this active power, this reactive power, and this apparent power. Now you can see kW. This kW is the working power, and somehow it is called as the actual power or active power or called as the real power. And it is the power that actually powers the equipment and perform its useful work. Whereas kVAR is the reactive power, and it is the power that magnetic equipment like transformer, motors, relay needs to produce the magnetizing flux. And kVA is the apparent power. It is basically the vectorial summations of kVAR and your active power. That means if you remember, the units of active power is basically kW, and which is equals to VI into cos phi, whereas the units of reactive power is kVAR, which is equals to VI sin phi, and your apparent power is basically equals to kVA, and the units are V into I, where phi is the phase angle, and phase angle is ultimately dependent upon the load, whether the load will be inductive, whether the load will be capacitive, or whether the load will be resistive. So if I talk about the power factor in terms of this power, so you know in an AC we have three types of power available, that is active, actual, or real, apparent power, as well as your reactive power. Clear? Now if I talk about the example, now this is the example of a simply, you can say that a beer mug. Now you can better understand if you take a beer mug, in that case what is active, what is reactive, and what is apparent. I am again saying you this is the example that is not you can say that is a pure technical example to understand what do you mean by active power, what is you mean by reactive power, and what is you mean by apparent power. But with this example you can get an idea that what is active or actual power, how it is useful, what do you mean by this reactive power, and what do you mean by this apparent power. Now, first of all, if you say this is a beer mug, now let us say you are at a ballpark and it's a really very hot. You ordered a mug of your favorite, say, beer. Now, the first quenching of a portion of your beer is represented by a kW. That means the liquid that present in the beer that can be helped to quenching the thirst is called as kW. As you see in your diagram, this mug is basically a full of beer, and on the top of the mug there is something foam, and here something it is called as the liquid, and this liquid can be used to quenching your thirst, and this is called as your kW. The foam which is present on the beer mug is basically the kVAR, that is a reactive power. It cannot be used as a quenching your thirst, but it is a part of this power. And when you add this active power, this reactive power, that means when you add the liquid material present in the beer mug, as well as when you add the foam present in the beer, the total power so obtained is called as your kVA power, isn't it? So you can say that your kVA power is basically nothing. It is the summation of your kW power and your kVAR power. So again, I can tell you, if you take a beer mug, in that beer mug, the liquid, the beer which is present in the beer mug is basically the actual liquid that can be used to quench your thirst. It is your active power, that is kW. In addition to that thing, there is something, you can say that foam or a gas is present. That foam is not useful for your quenching thirst, but it is a part of that power and that beer, and this is called as your kVA power. So if you add the liquid as well as the foaming, the ultimately so thing is obtained is called as your kVA power, which is equals to the summation of kW plus your kVAR. I think with this example you can get an idea that what do you mean by this active power, what do you mean by this reactive power, and what do you mean by this apparent power, isn't it? You can get an idea. Yeah, tell me.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
shall I continue next?
Yes, sir.
Because today we are discussing only the first question, that is what do you mean by the power factor. First of all, you get an idea कि power factor होता क्या है. After that we are discussing कि what are the various causes of the low power factor, what will happen when a power factor becomes low, what are the various improvement techniques and all that. Clear? So this is the first example. So here you can see that your power factor is the ratio of actual power to the apparent power. That means your power factor is equals to kW, that is useful thirst liquid that can be used for the useful thirst, to the total. Total means which includes the useful liquid as well as the foam. So the power factor is basically equals to kW upon kVA. So that is why here he has write down, looking at our beer mug analogy, power factor would be the ratio of beer plus the foam. That means kW, that is beer, and kVA is basically beer plus a beer foam. So here the power factor is defined as kW upon kW plus kVAR. So we have kVA. So again, you can see, looking at this thing, power factor is equals to kW upon kW plus kVAR. That means in beer mug, we can treat this kW as beer and kVAR as foam. So therefore, the power factor is equals to beer upon beer plus foam. That is kW upon kW plus kVAR. Clear? See? So this is the one example. Thus, for a given kVA, you have the more foam you have, higher the percentage of kVAR, the lower your ratio of kW to the kVA, thus lower your power factor. That means if you have high value of kVAR, you can think it on in a technical way, in an electrical point of view. If you have a more value of kVAR, it will leads to reduce the power factor, which is a very, very bad thing for our electrical engineers. Because in our electrical engineers, if the power factor will drop, it will lead to the efficiency decrease. So for that thing, you have to improve your power factor. That means your kVA power cannot be reduced, because if the kVA power is can be reduced, then your you can say that power factor is also reduced. Next, the less foam you have, lower the percentage of kVAR, higher your ratio kW to kVA. In fact, your foam or a kVAR approaches to 0, your power factor is approaches to 1, and another you can say that your power factor is neither equal to 0, neither equal to 1. So this is all about the power factor. What do you mean by this power factor? Clear? Now this is based upon this thing, you have another example. Now in this example, you have to discuss about the power factor triangle. Like if you remember in the third semester, you were discussed about the three triangles. One is called as the voltage triangle, another is called as the power triangle, and the third is called as the impedance triangle. Now in case of an impedance triangle, there are three terms, that is impedance, resistance, and capacitance or inductance. And in case of you can say that the voltage triangle, there are again the three terms, that is a voltage across inductor or capacitor, voltage across resistor, and the total voltage. So you can make a certain triangle, and that triangle is called as the voltage triangle. In the same case, you have another that is called as the impedance triangle. And in case of an impedance triangle, you take a resistor on one axis, inductor or capacitor on the another axis, and when you draw the resultant you can get an impedance, that is a Z, and that triangle is called as the impedance triangle. Now, in the same case, you have a power triangle. Now, you can see in a power triangle, there is an active power, that is kW power. There is a reactive power, that is called as kVA, kVA, R power, and third is called as the apparent power. And here we have a kVA power. Now, you see your active power will be horizontally, that is kW. Your reactive power will be at a 90-degree angle to the active power, that is kVAR. And when you can say that when you connect or resultant or you resolve the vector, you can get a kVA power, that is on a hypostatic side. So when you have this power triangle, you see on this power triangle, this is called as the power triangle. So again, you can see on this power triangle, you can see your kVA power, that is hypotenuse power, is equals to your kVA r square plus kW r square, because in in an Pythagoras theorem, the hypotenuse square is equal to the base square plus altitude square. Now again, if you use here the trigonometric property, so according to the trigonometric property, your cos theta will be equals to kW upon kVA. Hence you can say that this cos phi or cos theta is basically the power factor, and then power factor will be equals to kW upon kVA. Or this kW is nothing, it is basically a kVA upon kVA. So you can say that according to the hypotenuse theorem, that is kVA square is equals to kW square plus kVAR square. So this is all about power factor. What do you mean by power factor, and how you can denote this power factor? What do you mean by this power factor triangle? So anybody having any doubt related to the today's point, that is what do you mean by power factor, he or she can ask me. Or otherwise, you can put a comment on the comment box. I will try to solve it. So anybody having any doubt, he or she can. Just a minute. So quickly, you can say that in today's lecture we are discussing only about the power factor. What do you mean by power factor, and what do you mean by the power triangle? So quickly I can recap. The power factor is basically defined as the angle, you can say that the angle of just a minute. So quickly I can tell you what do you mean by this power factor, because in today's lecture we are only discuss what do you mean by power factor. So power factor is basically the cosine of angle between the voltage and current, and that angle is basically called as the phase angle. So you can note it down that power factor is defined as the cosine of phase angle. Number two, power factor is also defined as the ratio of resistance offered by the body to the impedance offered by the body. And thirdly, in terms of power, the power factor is defined as the ratio of active power to the reactive power, that is kW upon kV, is known as your power factor. You see how the power triangle can be obtained, and what do you mean by this power triangle, and what do you mean by this impedance triangle and this voltage triangle. Clear? So this is all about today's lecture.